Hello, welcome to Robin's Roost. I'm Robin Rassett, and today I'm going to show you this fun triple cube card, which looks a little difficult, but in reality is a pretty simple card to make. The fun thing is it folds up and fits nicely into a regular sized envelope. So to start with this, you're going to take a regular piece of cardstock. I'm using Garden Green for this one. And you're going to cut it down to 8 inches by 8.5. Okay, so the cardstock comes at 8.5. So you're basically going to make one cut to make it 8 by 8.5. And then you're going to put it on your scoreboard and you're going to score it. I'm showing you this. This one is actually already scored and cut, but you're going to go ahead and put it on. You're going to score it at 2, 4, 6, and 8. Now when you score it at 8, it's going to leave this little tape tab on the end. So that's how you're going to remember which direction you're scoring it. You have to have that extra ½ inch on the end. Then you are going to take some tear and tape and go ahead and place a strip of the tear and tape on each one of those tape tabs. So then we're going to just go ahead and fold up all these score lines. Now if you fold this in half like this, remove your strip, and then go ahead and close this onto the tape, and you can make sure that your corners line up, and that gives you your big box. And you're just going to go ahead and do the same thing. Oops, forgot to fold them first, didn't I? Do the same thing with your two little ones. I'm going to fold it like that. Set this down on here, making sure it lines up. I'll even remember to fold these first. Looks like I got some food on this one. Okay. So there's our second box. So then to put these boxes onto here, remember that they're going to fold up, right? Don't forget that, because you don't want them folding the other way. So we're going to put a couple of strips of tear and tape onto the side that's going to go onto the big box. I'm just going to go ahead and remove these. Maybe. Line them up. We can give it a good burnish. And then we are going to do the same thing with the other one. Go ahead and burnish that one. And that's how simple it is to make the base for this card. Then you're going to go ahead and decorate. So for the decorative pieces for this one, I'm using 4 pieces of the reindeer design that are 1 7/8 inch square, and then 2 pieces of the Jingle Bell design. Now this is from the 'Tis the Season 6x6 paper, and any of the papers in that pattern will work great. So then we're just going to go ahead, oops, Okay, so then we're going to go ahead and adhere this to the panels. Okay, work our way around. And then I find that it works best to burnish them flat. So then I just go ahead and do that. Now, if you were really forward thinking, you could put these on beforehand, but I like to do them after. I'm not sure why. So now these bells could look good either way. If you wanted a little pop of red, I'm thinking I like the pop of red on this one. Okay, so there's our base is all done. Now we need to add our decorative strips. Now on this card, I just put a 3-inch, I cut a 3-inch strip here, scored it at a 1/2 inch on each end, and used that to put my deer on. I've decided for this card that I'm going to try to make a spring piece that's going to make the deer sit more at an angle. I'm hoping this is going to work. So I've cut this piece 5 inches long. It's a 1/2 inch wide, and I've scored it a 1/2 inch from each end, and then on one end I've added another, there should have been one more score in here. Let's see. So it should be a 1/2 inch, 1 inch, and 1 1/2. It's going to make like a little spring that's hopefully going to make it go across the middle rather than, it's going to go corner to corner and it's still going to close. Okay, so we're going to pop this one right in that corner. I'm sorry it's hard to see with my big mitts in the way. Okay. And then this piece is going to glue right in this corner so that when it's closed, it stretches the whole way across, and then when it's opened, I think I got my folds wrong in here. There we go. This way. There. So it'll give us this little spring type movement. Now for the trees in the background. Okay, so these trees I've cut from the Snow Globe Scenes dies, which are in the annual catalog, I believe. And when you place these, you're going to want to remember that you have to keep them down to like the top of the snow, or whatever you want to call this part, the base of the trees, so that it will still fit in your envelope. And I'm just going to use a little dash of some liquid glue here on these. I'm going to go ahead and sneak this in between here. So it's out of the way of the spring action. And we're going to try putting, here we go, as our second one. Now, I have not tried this before, putting the two trees on here. So let's see. It looks like they close okay. Got a little extra glue on there. I'm just going to leave that there, I think, for now. Okay. Now for our deer, I'm going to bring in my Stamparatus. Now I like using the Stamparatus when I'm stamping on the velveteen paper. got that little bit of fuzz, so you never quite know if it's going to stamp totally the first time. So this works great for this. Now if you'll notice, I've added a little a matting piece in my Stamparatus, and I just did that. It makes it easier for my customers to line things up, and you're not quite so close to the hinge. Sometimes when you get close to the hinge, it doesn't like to stamp as good because you can't get as much pressure. So we're just going to go ahead and ink him up. Now he's actually not bad. He might be okay with just the one inking, but I'm going to go ahead and ink it again just to show you how you can get him darker. See how he looks a little darker, and it's all lined up. So now we've got him cut out, and he's going to go here on this this piece. We're going to again use the here it is, the liquid glue. Now he needs to be about, so his belly is on the kind of on the top of the glue tab. I'm just going to, before everything dries, I'm going to set the whole thing on an envelope. Yes. Okay, it looks like everything is going to fit in the envelope. So there we've got our deer and our trees. Now I have this thinking of you at Christmas medallion that we're going to put in the center here. So we're just going to stamp this greeting with some garden green, because that's what we're using for our base color. I can find the right greeting. Here we go. And this greeting is actually from the Itty Bitty Christmas stamp set. If you do a lot of Christmas cards, I highly suggest getting that one. It's got some great greetings in there. Now actually, while I'm stamping this, I'm also going to do, there's this cute Made in the North Pole reindeer air freight stamp, and I am going to put that on the flap of my envelope. I always like to put a little something on my envelope. Perfect. So we'll set that off to the side, and we're done stamping. There's not a lot of stamping on this card. So now we will go ahead and adhere our greeting onto, this is a piece of the brushed metallic paper, and I've already gone ahead and cut it out. This medallion shaped die is in the North Pole dies, which is also where the deer comes from. Now we're going to have to make a little bit of a spring so that this medallion can sit in this corner edgeways. And I had one here somewhere. I'm hoping this is it. Okay, so this is 3.5 by 1/2 inch. Well, maybe it's, make that 3/4. It's 3.5 by 3/4, and it's scored at 1/2 and 1 inch on each end. And we're just going to go ahead and use our tear and tape. So you're going to make this little box so that this will sit on here and kind of pop out of the middle. Okay, tear and tape. Now this is probably the trickiest part of the whole card, is getting this in here. And I haven't figured out a better way of doing it, like putting it together beforehand, because how do you put it together before you have the boxes together? So you're going to have to try to wiggle this in here when you can't really see it. Let's see. Make sure it'll open, and I haven't, you'll notice I haven't burnished it down until I knew that it would both open and close. So it doesn't really, if you can see it in there, it doesn't really pop up a lot, but it gives us that flat area to put this greeting on. And then I'm going to put a strip of tear and tape on this in here. There we go. So then make sure your greeting is upright so we don't have to hold it upside down. And again, I'm saying this from experience. There. I had it a little too high. Okay. So then you might have to a little twitching to get it exactly the way you want it when it's open. Let's see. Hopefully you can see that good enough. So you've got your trees on the background with your deer on your little spring piece, and then your medallion here in the middle. So hope you enjoy making this card. I know I'm having a lot of fun with it. I just wanted to show you another design that I made using some other papers and the poinsettias. My son told me that this was too dark for Christmas, but I was going for kind of an elegant look. But you can see you can add more of the little strips in here, and on this one I actually added them in the bottom of here too. So you could have a lot of fun coming up with some different ways of decorating these cards. Hope you have fun making this card, and if you'd like to support my business, hop on over to my store. I'll have the link provided below, and purchase the supplies to make it from me. I would really appreciate that. Thanks for stopping.